Ah, shit, I'm in for the king still. Good morning, everyone. Morning, good morning. Morning. Oh. Bro, I spent all yesterday evening unvoice metering my computer. And come to find out, OBS has way better, literally better audio stuff built in. So I was like, whatever. So, good morning. All right. Yeah, I need to keep tweaking it. It's not perfect. Like I don't exactly like how it sounds, but it's better than just OBS or voice meter right now. And it's more so I feel like it's like the EQ. Let me just look at a sneak peek. It's actually, what are the filters? Yeah, here we go. What am I? Just go browsing. Yeah, you could apply a bunch of filters here, and you could use these built-in ones here, but you can't. It's just not that good. The quality is bad here. It broke yesterday. Yeah. And so the next best option is to use like literally like professional like VST plugins. And so I just spent like messing around with these to get it. And so the EQ, this is the one that I had it sounding almost perfect, and then I was testing to see if you could hear my clicking, and so I was going like this, and I was clicking into my mic, and then I did something, and I hit the reset the default button on accident, and I was like, bro, I spent like the past like 45 minutes tweaking this, and then when I was testing, I just like something moved, and I clicked the reset default button, and so I real quick threw this together, so I was like, fuck. Anyways, I need to mess around with this more. It's just, I just don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so I was like, whatever. Anyways, mic quality will improve over time as I learn this. But yeah, hang on, I need to open my window. It's getting warm already. Okay. We got NVIDIA earnings. Oh my goodness. I thought NVIDIA stock was gonna not do that good because of just like problems with their new like AI chips and all this kind of stuff, but boy did it. I was saved. The earnings were so good. Literally, quarterly revenue is up 78% from a year ago. Like nearly 100%. Like insane. Like data center revenue up 93%. Full year is up 114%. Like good times. NVDA stock. Oh shit, whoa, what's happening? But this is not, I'm okay with this though, honestly. Like 1 month, like over the month, like we're good. Yeah, earnings beat. Good. Reddit, on the other hand, fuck. Okay, it's like okay, but like, bro, this peak is insane. 224. I was afraid that their earnings would tank it, and it kind of did. Yeah, it's down quite a bit, but it's still pretty high. I was gonna wait to sell I wanted to wait till March to sell because that's my 1 year mark. No capital gains. Let's go. But I definitely should have sold up here. And it was like perfect timing. Like I saw some like, I don't know, like some like famous investors like, you know, like never care about the tax if you just want to sell, you know. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, thought about Reddit, and I was like, I don't know, I think it'll be fine. And then this happens. Like, fuck, I just should have sold, and I just shouldn't have thought about the tax. It's like nothing, anyways. Okay. NVIDIA. Let's look at their official one, and then we might, yeah, because I want to look at the details down here, and then we'll look at an interview, Jensen Huang. Okay, NVIDIA reported revenue for the fourth quarter ended January 26, 2025, up 39 billion, 12% from previous quarter. Okay, so actually they did go up quarter to quarter too. Always go with your gut unless your gut is always wrong. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've actually, honestly, my portfolio's been taking a hit. I definitely have a lot of more, like, emerging technologies. I invested in Rocket Labs. And, bro, yeah, Rocket Labs, like, look at this. It's just going down. I bought it, this stock has been so volatile. Like, literally, I bought it like almost a month ago. I was up like 40%, and now I'm down like 30%. My stock pro is dodged these. Yeah, I think though it's just Trump. Yeah, literally. I just have ETFs and like my Roth. Yeah, even broad market stuff though is like I don't know. Okay, Spy's doing all right. Okay, Spy's doing all right. We're good. We're good. This came up. Yes, this is what I was searching for. This movie. Yeah, I don't know. I think just Trump, whatever the fuck Trump is doing to our government, you know, it's like no one knows what's gonna happen. Like, you know, he said there's gonna be tariffs. Then, like, you know, Justin Trudeau, like, you know, patted Trump on the head, and then Trump's like, okay, no tariffs. And so it's like, bro, like, no, it's like so unpredictable, which I think doesn't bode well for like investors, because all their models now that they've made to like predict shit is all fucked up, because like he's doing, you know, he's either doing exactly what he says or not doing anything he says at all. And there's like, you know, almost no in between. Right now he's doing everything he says, essentially. And I think that's hard because he's a liar. So it's like, how, you know? Yeah, I don't know. The stock market's crazy. And AI is kind of like here because like everyone's like, AI is going to disrupt every single market, but like it hasn't really. So, yeah. Okay, let's look at this. Revenue. Fiscal 2025 revenue is up 130 billion, up from 114% a year ago. Okay. Demand for Blackwell is amazing as reasoning AI adds another scaling law. Increasing compute for training makes models smarter, and increases compute for long thinking makes the answers smarter. Jensen Huang, founder's CEO. Yeah, and NVIDIA's fortunately lucked out on like every like tech wave now, but like with AI, it's like, yeah, DeepSeek came out and like, you know, they're like, oh, we trained this model on like a tiny budget, not even using the best chips, and it's just as good or better as some of the, you know, frontier models that you know, these American companies spent hundreds of millions of dollars, arguably billions of dollars training. And, you know, that's when like kind of the little like market downturn happened because everyone was freaking out, but then like other things pop up that appear that benefit NVIDIA, i.e. them needing more compute. But I one thing that I don't really get either is like, I feel like if NVIDIA were to, if AI didn't exist and NVIDIA were to release these new chips, one, they would still sell. Like, I feel like there's always a market for faster compute, no matter what like the hot tech topic is at the time. I think Like, they could have sold them. They made them not be able to sell them for as expensive as they did, or like the pricing. But regardless, like, I feel like they would have like sell them. So I don't really get like the whole like AI. You know, like, it definitely it's driving demand, but I don't think it's like it's the only reason Nvidia's like afloat right now. I don't know. I think that if AI didn't exist and Nvidia were to release their Blackwell chips, the demand would be just as high because they're just so much more efficient. And so, like, why would that not, like, why would you not buy that anyways if it saves you, you know, computing resources, money, power, whatever. Like, over the long term, like, those really add up. So I don't know. I feel like they would have sold anyways. Hell yeah, bro. Next quarterly cash dividend of $0.01. Bro, we're rolling in it. 1 penny. It's also interesting that a lot of things like stayed relatively the same. Like, it's very marginal. I don't. Oh, okay, this is the year. Here's your shiny penny. Yeah, don't spend it, right? Okay, let's look at their outlook now. Revenue's expected to be 43 billion. Wait. Oh, first quarter. That's what I was like, quarter? Okay. Which is only slightly higher than what they currently are. But that's probably a good few percent. But their gross margins are going down. Interesting. Okay, here we go. The highlights, though, is the good parts. Fourth quarter revenue, yeah, was up 16%. So this is data center, which is where their big bucks come in now. Okay, NVIDIA announced that it will serve as a key technology partner to the $500 billion Stargate project. Okay, which... I don't know, this is kind of just like whatever now, because... Yeah, data centers... Okay, let's go through this and then we'll all share some thoughts on data centers, or just like what I've been seeing in the news too. Okay, revealed that cloud service providers AWS, CoreWeave, which CoreWeave is actually one of the bigger like like GPU cloud compute providers. I think Microsoft, like, they work with Microsoft a lot. Like, they like manage or use a lot of their data centers or something. Yeah, they have a lot of data centers. And yeah, they have several up in the Pacific Northwest here and in Europe. Okay, wow. AWS, CoreWeave, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, and Oracle Cloud are bringing NVIDIA GB200 Grace Blackwell systems to cloud regions around the world to meet surging customer demand for AI. Partner with AWS to take the NVIDIA DGX Cloud AI computing platform and NVIDIA NIM microservices available through AWS Marketplace. It's interesting. I actually really, after CES, I really tried to like research into like how to work with like some of NVIDIA's stuff, because some of the stuff they showed at CES with like agents and stuff, and like, yeah, these like NIMs like look cool, and like they're like, oh, you can just like run it on your, you know, GTX graphics card, but like it's really not that easy. And it's all like centralized to NVIDIA, so like you have to, it's not like you could just download it and like run it. It's like you have to go through like NVIDIA's like services or whatever, and it was like way more complex than they put on. Revealed that Cisco will integrate NVIDIA Spectrum X into its networking portfolio to help enterprise build AI infrastructure. That's good. I think this is probably their like inner data center networking stuff. NVIDIA's naming is like some of the worst. but that's no different. I guess all big tech's naming is like kind of bad. Yeah, this is interesting. Makes sense to Cisco to do this though, because they're a networking company. Revealed more than 75% of systems in the top 500 list of the world's most powerful supercomputers are powered by NVIDIA technologies. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Announced a collaboration with Verizon to integrate NVIDIA AI Enterprise, NIM, and accelerating computing with Verizon's private 5G network to power a range of edge enterprise AI applications and services. Yeah, okay. I remember looking into NVIDIA's like telecom networking, and they talked about like these like edge AI stuff, and I didn't really get it, and I honestly still don't. But I guess like Verizon's doing it. I guess it works. I don't know. Unveiled partnerships with industry leaders including IQVIA, Illumina, Mayo Clinic, ARK Institute to advance genomics, drug discovery, and healthcare. Okay, that's cool. Launch NVIDIA AI blueprints. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, I think. And Llama Nemotron model families for building AI agents, and released NVIDIA NIM microservices as safeguard application for agentic AI. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, I think. Like, you have to use like NVIDIA's like services to do this, and it costs money. Okay, announced the opening of NVIDIA's first R&D center in Vietnam. Okay, that's interesting. Revealed the Siemens Healthineers has adopted Monai Deploy for medical imaging AI. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay, I do want to really want to hear now like actual Jensen Huang's like opinions, because so Microsoft maybe like last week, butchered those. Yeah, this right here. What is this source? I don't like this source. Yeah. Reuters. There we go. So Microsoft said that data center leasing is slowing, and it kind of like people were kind of confused because this $500 billion Stargate project, they're like, why are they building $500 billion worth of data centers if there's too much built, like the demand is too high right now, or the supply is too high right now, and demand is kind of waning a bit or staying more steady. Meanwhile, we're building like hundreds of data centers, probably thousands throughout the world, when it's just like when Microsoft's like, we actually have too much right now. And so that was kind of weird. An analyst note flagging a possible slowdown by Microsoft in leasing data center capacity grabbed the market's attention on Monday, lending credence to skepticism among investors who worried that the AI-led stock market boom might be running out of steam. TD Cowen analyst in a note on Friday said the tech giant had scrapped leases for sizable data center capacity in the United States, suggesting potential oversupply as it builds out artificial intelligence infrastructure. The broker, citing the supply chain checks, said Microsoft had canceled leases totaling a couple of hundred megawatts of capacity with at least 2 private data center operators. The analyst said Microsoft planned to invest over $80 billion in AI and cloud capacity. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that they're canceling it when everyone else is scrambling and like they can't even get enough. Yeah, Microsoft shares were little affected. The stock lost 1% on Monday. Related companies took a hit. Shares of German firm Siemens is German? I didn't know that. And French company Schneider Electric. I also didn't know Schneider Electric was French. Fell 7% and 4% respectively. Yeah, because these guys, though, they provide a lot of the like behind the scenes stuff for data centers. Like, data centers are a lot big in power and electric stuff. Most German name. Schneider sounds German. Like Schneider. I guess like Siemens. I don't know. Yeah, and then all these other power companies went down. Yeah, so this is interesting that this happened though on the backs. You just have to like I just can't not like yell something like when I think of German, I just have to like yell it. Werner von Siemens. German. Yeah, that is super German. Imagine you probably work with like Siemens stuff. Or at least like equipment. Or you guys like have it. Because don't they do like SCADA stuff or whatever the fuck? Or is it with a C? SCADA? Yeah, SCADA systems. I swear this is what Siemens does too. Maybe this is like or like manufacturing or something. God, oh, SCADA, SCADA, SCADA. Gade. Bro, this seems like an AI like hierarchy, like AI agent hierarchy. Anyways. Okay. Yeah, so data center market is kind of in a weird spot, and I think that really undermines this $500 billion Stargate project too. But one thing also to just I'm just like just a bunch of random thoughts now at this point. I was reading a article or a piece by Stratechery, who is Ben Thompson, who's like a notorious tech analyst, and he was saying, you know, it's like one thing you do have to consider with ChatGPT is that they won the consumers. A consumer electronics company, just a consumer like brand that's worth like billions of dollars in general is really hard to make, especially from like a startup, like a tech startup going to consumer like as like a primarily consumer facing company is extremely hard. And ChatGPT, you know, OpenAI has won that, and they're also very valuable. Like those are the most valuable companies. Think of like Apple, Microsoft, you know, a lot of the big tech companies' largest, you know, market is the consumer market. And OpenAI won that somehow, but it, you know, just whatever they do, you know, ChatGPT and everything is pretty good for just pretty good. So I guess, you know, makes sense. But the demand for that is like insane compared to even, you know, businesses who might use it for other consumer facing stuff. But like, you know, having, you know, hundreds of millions of users, like they have like 400 million like weekly active, like that is insane for compute. And so I think, yeah, some of this is still justified for this $500 billion Stargate project, but I still think they're like, they might even like overbuild. Now I don't know like what other details are with like them like potentially like using the data centers, like renting out to other partners and not just OpenAI, even though they did say technically it was going to be OpenAI exclusive. But I don't know, this just seems like maybe too much spend now. But I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. Microsoft just had earnings, but like even in their earnings call though, it's like they were pretty sparse on information, and I doubt that they'd reveal any more. So anyways, okay, let's move on now. Gaming and AI PC. The fact that they call it like AI PC now is also a little weird. And actually, this is probably where they got hit, because their 5000 series cards they did not hold up. Like I think people were disappointed in what like the actual performance was because of all of their like reliance on DLSS, and people were like, bro, the actual raw compute from last generation to now is like nothing. It's like marginal. And all of their, you know, and so it only applies if the DLSS is only good if you play games. If you don't play games and you just need it to do like other compute stuff, which there's a huge market for like machine learning. You know, like at like my work, we had specific like laptops and computers that had 4,000 like 4090s in them, so that, you know, when we needed to go and train or like, you know, machine learning stuff, we could go and use those, you know, those graphics cards to do it, you know. And that doesn't, you know, we don't use DLSS or anything on that. We would just raw compute. And so like for instances like that, which is still a very large market, like I think it's severely, like they kind of severely disappointed. Fourth quarter gaming revenue 2.5 billion, down 22% from the previous quarter and down 11% from a year ago. Full year revenue rose 9% to 11.4 billion. Interesting that they put that. I wonder what the previous year's growth was. They don't break it out. I forgot. Or do they? No. Do they do it down here? No. Okay, announced new RTX 50 series graphics cards and laptops powered by the NVIDIA Blackwell architecture, delivering breakthroughs in AI-driven rendering to gamers, creators, and developers. Launched GeForce RTX 5090 and 5080 graphics cards, delivering up to 2 times performance over the prior generation. Yeah, this is I can't believe they didn't put an asterisk here. Introduced NVIDIA DLSS 4 with multi-frame generation image quality enhancements. Yeah, up to 75 games. And unveiled NVIDIA Reflex 2 technology, which can reduce PC latency up to 75%. Unveiled NVIDIA NIM microservices AI blueprints in the Llama Neutron family of open models for RTX AI PCs to help developers and enthusiasts build AI agents and creative workflows. Yeah, but like I still don't understand how to do it. Let's actually open this up right now. Let's open up NVIDIA. In every single time I open up the NVIDIA app, it says that it's installing. Like, is it never... Have I never... Let's see if I actually have any drivers installed. Oh, okay. It just decided right now. That I swear, I don't understand their new app. Like, every time I open it, it's like it's never been open before. This is the worst time to download a driver, too. Like, literally while I'm streaming. It's like I need every bandwidth. I need all the bandwidth I can get. Okay, professional visualization. This one is just... This is like nothing. $500 million. Still up 10%, though. Up 21% full year. That's, I mean, still, like, enough. Yeah, this NVIDIA Project Digits. Personal AI supercomputer that provides AI research, data scientists, students worldwide with access to NVIDIA power of the NVIDIA Grace Blackwell platform. This thing is weird. This thing is weird. And I actually did a kind of like bit of a deep dive on this because it's like, who would even buy this? Like it like Jensen made it seem like a casual person would buy it and like just like to have it be like the center of their like AI home, like whatever. But it costs like $3,000, and like most people who are probably interested have a gaming or desktop computer with a graphics card, with a GTX graphics card, RTX, whatever the fuck graphics card in there already. So it's like, why would you just not use this versus this? And I was like, the only people who would really buy, I don't even know where the picture is. It's this thing right here. It's this little tiny thing right here. This is it. The only people that would buy this is someone with a laptop. And just like this like AI generated picture too. Like, look at this code. But it's interesting that they group this into the professional visualization and not like gaming and AI PC. Okay, announced generative AI models and blueprints that expanded NVIDIA Omniverse integration further into physical AI applications, including robotics, autonomous vehicles, and vision AI. Cool. NVIDIA Omniverse is crazy. Introducing NVIDIA Media 2, an AI-powered initiative transforming content creation, streaming, and live meeting experiences built on NIM and AI blueprints. Haven't heard of this. New technologies including NIM, microservices, AI blueprints are streamlining AI video pipelines. What? I just don't like streaming. don't get what they do. Whoa, this is cool. I've never seen this picture actually. It's higher quality. GBX and 200 NVL 72 Super Pod. It's crazy. This is like one big graphics card. That's crazy. And then you got these nodes, the NVLink, which is like inner networking, Quantum Switch, Spectrum X Switch, all of these networking. Cool. Okay, automotive and robotics. This is also kind of an interesting market now. 4 quarters up 27%. Wow, and up 103% from a year ago. That's crazy. Yeah, they're definitely betting on robotics a lot, which is fair. Good bet, especially NVIDIA. Now it's that Toyota, the world's largest automaker, will build its next generation vehicles on NVIDIA Drive AGX Orin, running a safety certified NVIDIA Drive OS operating system. Wow. Cool looking truck, like autonomous. Okay. I kind of want to see pictures. I don't know. It's like pictures. Partner with Hyundai Motor Group to create safer, smarter vehicles, supercharge manufacturing, and deploy cutting-edge robotics with NVIDIA AI and NVIDIA Omniverse. Cool. Announced the NVIDIA Drive OS autonomous driving operating system received ASILD function safety certification. Okay, don't really know what that is, but NVIDIA launches Drive AI Systems Inspection Lab, achieves new industry safety milestones. But what? Oh, I'm all zoomed in. I was like, what is up with this? Okay, when was this? This like was all January 6th. It's like this is all just from CES. I don't even remember seeing this though. Launch NVIDIA Cosmos. Oh, okay, yeah, this was. I remember this from CES. Platform comprising of state-of-the-art generative world foundation models to accelerate physical AI development. Whoops, I clicked the button on my mouse. With adoption by leading robotics and automotive companies. 1x, Agile Robots. Oh, these are companies. Uber. Yeah, this is just like a simulated 3D world to trade robots in. Unveiled the NVIDIA Jetson Orion Nano Super, which delivers a 1.7 gain of generative AI performance. Cool. Okay. Alright, Chief Financial Officer Colette Kress said the company expects a significant ramp of sales of Blackwell and next generation AI chips in the first quarter. I imagine there's some subset of companies who like to see the thing deployed first and like working before they probably spend a lot of money on it. I don't know. I don't know, because I feel like people just want to get their hands on any sort of GPU like chip to put in a data center because like they could just make a lot of money from it probably. NVIDIA's growth is slowing as the company becomes larger. During the fourth quarter fiscal year 2024, NVIDIA's sales more than tripled. Much of the focus this calendar year is on how quickly the company can ship its next generation AI processors called Blackwell. Yeah. NVIDIA said it had $11 billion in Blackwell revenue during the fourth quarter. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said the demand for Blackwell is amazing. In a statement, Kress called it the fastest product ramp in our company's history. Blackwell sales were led by the large cloud service providers, which represented approximately 50% of our data center revenue. Dang. Yeah. Data center business represents 91% of the company's total sales. There's only 60% in the same period in 2023. That's crazy. Data center revenues increased tenfold. NVIDIA said it had $35.6 billion in data center revenue. Okay, yeah. Yeah, NVIDIA officials told investors that while its chips were previously used to develop or train artificial intelligence, Its new chips such as Blackwell would be used to deliver AI software, a process called inference. I don't know about this though, because inference actually takes significantly less compute power than training, and so why would you want to use the best chips that you have on something that takes much less compute? You'd want to like offload that to some, just like you could like even like a big CPU, but just like a cheaper like AMD based or even like Intel based like GPU that just is way cheaper and doesn't like, you know, I don't know, less efficient, that you could use on more like high intense compute processes. And even I think even Intel or an AMD said that that's where they're trying to like get in at, is on the inference layer, because realistically their chips just aren't as powerful as NVIDIA's, so they can't really compete. Chris also addressed investors' concerns that efficient models such as DeepSeek's R1 may limit the need for additional NVIDIA chips. New ways of running AI models that ask the AI to generate additional information to think through responses could require as much as 100 times the amount of NVIDIA chips, she said. Crazy. But I mean, I don't know, they are definitely incentivized to say this. Like it's in their best interest to say this. So I mean, like, I don't know. Long thinking, reasoning AI can require 100 times more compute per task compared to one-shot inferences. I mean, I guess though, if we think about this, all a thinking is, like when it thinks, all it's doing the same thing as responding to your question. It's just doing it kind of behind the scenes now in like an internal dialogue. And so it's like, it is technically the same thing as like responding to a question. Now it's just doing it more before it then like gives you the final answer. So it is multiples more, you know, for compute when you do like add in the thinking part. So I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense. 100 times, like, I don't know. Depends on how much, I guess. The vast majority of our compute today is actually inference, Wong told investors. He said next generation AI algorithms could need millions of times the current amount of computing capacity. Wow, inference is most of their stuff. Okay. Next generation AI algorithms could need millions of times the current amount of computing capacity. I also think they kind of assume that there's not going to be any other like technological breakthrough either in like the compute layer or like the like actual like software AI layer. I think that there's like, I think in the next few years, like, what I'm trying to say, in 2017 is when like Google DeepMind released a paper that essentially created modern day like large language models, and it was kind of like the Transformers model, whatever. I don't know like super details, but it was the Transformer based models, and that's what most AIs are using right now, large language models. And there really hasn't been any new development in like that model of how like we're training and using AIs since then. And I think that there's going to be, since then, now that it's like there's all this money in it, I think that people are putting a lot more into R&D, research and development. And there's going to be new ways that are like more novel and like more efficient to then use like, you know, large language models or some sort of different kind of model. And I think that could disrupt like this, like they're like predictions here, like kind of like that. I don't know. And I think even recently I just was reading something how there's like different kinds of LLMs now. Yeah, this is the exact tweet I was reading actually. Like where there's like, you know, while I was talking about transformer based, there's now diffusion based large language models, which we've covered other diffusion based models on here where you kind of give it an input and then it kind of uses that as the seed to kind of then predict, you know, or like think about stuff in different branches. But that's usually used in like image generation. It's like each pass does like a more refinement of the previous one until it gets to the point you want. And so if you do that with like, here they're doing it with code, it's actually like a lot more efficient and faster. So it's like, that's already some sort of improvement. Inception Labs. So I guess we're increasing speed, which is good. Mistral is very quick now. Introducing a new generation of language models. Unlike traditional LLMs that generate text on one token at a time. I didn't even read it. Yeah, okay. Might take a look at this later, but okay. Keep on track. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. These like predictions that they're making, they are definitely incentivized to say this. I'll just say that. Wong also addressed questions about whether NVIDIA's business model could be threatened by custom chips being developed by technology companies such as Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. Just because the chip is designed doesn't mean it gets deployed, Wong said. That's true. I guess we don't really know about deployments necessarily. Company's data center business this quarter also included $3 billion in sales for company's networking parts, which are used to connect hundreds of thousands of GPUs together. However, NVIDIA has signaled that networking was a growth opportunity for the company. Networking sales were down 9% from a year ago. Maybe it's not going as much. Company's gaming business also includes graphics processors for playing 3D games. Bro, this is like such a fucking like boomer like CNBC thing to say. It's like, you playing those 3D games, kids? It's like, you mean just games? Video games? For the $2.5 billion in sales versus street account expectations of $3 billion. Yeah, that actually was down. They spent $33 billion on share repurchases in fiscal 2025. That's crazy. That's so much money. Fuck, $33 billion in share repurchases. I guess as an investor, that's good, but it's like, I don't know, is that the bet? Like, that's literally like all of their data center revenue. That just shows how much cash they fucking like have. Like, it's insane how much money. Wonder, let's go back. Let's see actually how much cash they have on hand. Cash. They have $43 billion in cash. Accounts receivable net. I think this is like they're waiting to collect. Or it's I don't know what this account net means. It's accounts payable minus accounts receivable or something. Property and equipment, okay. Bro, they have like no debt too, which is crazy. I guess like I shouldn't say no debt, but like their debt to income is pretty good, I imagine. Okay, I want to watch an interview. I want to see what Jensen had to say. I watched like some of an interview. And then we'll take a look at. Actually, I kind of want to read this article because it's related. Take a look at that. Earnings. Vincent Wong. All right. Bro, some of these videos are... All right, let's watch this video. I actually pre-watched this, I'm going to be honest.
As you mentioned, now earlier today, speaking of demand, I was talking to Amazon CEO Andy Jassy. He told me that as of now, if he had more AI resources to sell through AWS, he could sell more. That's kind of the short-term signal of demand that you talked about on the call. Tell me more about the mid-term signals that...
Yeah, and I think we were kind of talking about more long-term. I feel like Microsoft canceling stuff is more a long-term signal, because they may have everything they need now, or they may need it now, but like realistically, what they canceled is in the future. They're canceling future leases, which that's what I'm taking this as. Yes, scrapped leases for sizable data center capacity.
Investors should be aware of that give you confidence in the continued demand, the scale outs of data centers, AI factories, relative to what you've historically seen.
AI factories.
The short-term signal are just our POs and the forecasts. And on top of that, the things that are not forecasted are new startup companies that are spinning off. And some of these are quite famous. And, you know, at the risk of forgetting any of them, I won't mention any of them, but there's some really, really fantastic startups that have come out as a result of new reasoning AI capabilities and, you know, artificial general intelligence capabilities that they have breakthroughs in, and there's several of them that are related to agentic AIs, really exciting companies, and there's several of them related to physical AIs. You know, there's just handfuls of each one of them, and each one of them needs additional compute. And that's, you know, the type of things that Andy talks about, because they need to go to AWS and they have urgent need for more compute right away. And so that's on top of what we already knew to have POs and forecasts and such. The midterm comes from the fact that this year's capital investment for data centers is so much greater than last year's. And of course, we had a very large year last year. We had a great year last year. It stands to reason that with Blackwell.
And actually, I guess if we're thinking about NVIDIA, just NVIDIA here, they don't actually even, like, it doesn't actually matter that much for them, for like what the actual, like, they do with the data center. Like, for all NVIDIA could care, like, they could buy the chip and then they could just fucking sit in a warehouse. But it's like, it doesn't even matter because, like, NVIDIA got their, you know, bag, I guess, already. I'm sure there's some reoccurring, like, support thing or something. But, like, now I think about it, like, I feel like you need to talk to, like, one layer more up in the supply chain to really get more, like, midterm, long-term, like, forecast, I guess. I don't know, like, what the, like, relationship looks like between, like, NVIDIA and, like, the data center or, like, the companies they sell to.
And with all the new data centers going online, we're going to have a fairly great year. Now, long term, the thing that's really exciting is we're just at the beginning of the reasoning AI era. You know, this is the time when AI is thinking to itself before it answers a question. Instead of just immediately generating an answer, it'll reason about it, maybe break it down step by step. It'll do maybe some searching in its own mind before it creates and composes a smart answer for you. The amount of computation necessary to do that reasoning process is 100 times more than what we used to do. So if you could imagine, we thought computation, the amount of compute necessary was a lot last year. And then all of a sudden, reasoning AI, DeepSeek was an example of that. ChatGPT 4o is an example of that. Grok 3 reasoning is an example of that. So all of these...
GPT 4o is not, I think I meant to say 01. 4o is not thinking.
Reasoning AI models now need a lot more compute than what we used to
whatever.
Well, let me stop you there.
Because even more load.
Because some people took DeepSeek to mean actually that you need less compute, right? Because the initial report was that they were doing more with less. But you're saying, in fact, some of what came out of DeepSeek was the opposite, that there's going to be more compute demanded. Unpack that for me.
There are 3 phases in how AI works, how AI is developed largely. Number 1 is pre-training. It's kind of like us going through high school. A lot of basic math, basic language, basic everything. That basic understanding of human knowledge is essential to do what's the next step, which is called post-training. In post-training, you might get human feedback. You know, it's like a teacher showing a teacher.
I feel like this was explained poorly because this honestly just, it like kind of confused me related to like the DeepSeek R1 thing.
We call it reinforcement learning, human feedback. You might practice
seems like
and do thought
confusing.
experiments.
Like it makes sense, but like
you're doing a whole lot of practices. We call it reinforcement learning AI feedback. You could even either also do tests and practice, and we call it reinforcement learning, verifiable reward feedback. So now basically it's AIs teaching AIs how to be better AIs. That post-training process is where an enormous amount of innovation is happening right now. A lot of it happened with these reasoning models. And that computation load could be 100 times more than pre-training. And then here comes inference, the reasoning process. Instead of just spewing out an answer, when prompted, it reasons about it. It thinks about how best to answer that question, breaks it down step by step, might even reflect upon it, come up with several versions, pick the best one, and then presents it to you. So the amount of computation that we have to do, even at inference time now, is 100 times more than what we used to do when ChatGPT first came out. And so all of a sudden, the combination of all these ideas, largely related to reinforcement learning and synthetic data generation and reasoning, all of this is just causing compute demand to go sky high.
All right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like he really didn't answer the question though. I don't know.
So all of
the DeepSeek thing, because yeah, the guy like I don't know. I feel like it was a bit of a dodge. That's probably why it confused me. It's like, what does this have anything to do with what the guy asked? But the host, I don't know his name. Sorry. Anyways, all right, that's NVIDIA. Earnings were okay. They're pretty good. Actually, they were just like they were good enough to sustain the price. I think down 3% is a little off, but considering how expensive the stock is. Yeah, you didn't say it exactly. That's what I was like. I don't know. This answer just like confused me. He's like, what? Okay, let's take a look at this, and then we'll kind of pick through this a bit here. Typical CEO. Yeah, exactly. This guy's last name is just like insane. Anthropic's latest flagship AI might not have been incredibly costly to train, which contradicts what NVIDIA, kind of exactly what we were just looking at. Anthropic's newest flagship AI model, Claude 3.7 Sonnet, cost a few tens of millions of dollars. I take that to mean like 20 to 50 million. To train using less than 10 to the 26 flops of computing power. I don't know, how is someone reading this to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know how much. Like, I don't know. Like, give me in terms of like graphics, like, you know, GPUs used or some shit. That's according to Wharton professor Ethan Mollick, who in an X post on Monday relayed a clarification he'd received from Anthropic's PR. I was contacted by Anthropic, who told me that 3.7 Sonnet would not be considered a 10 to 26 flop model and could cost a few tens of millions of dollars, he wrote, though future models will be much bigger. I think, though, there's also there's a lot of like talk around the naming, instead of, because like the previous model was 3.5, now they're 3.7. Like, why not go to like 4, like Claude 4? But I think, though, there's like some more like nuance to the names, I guess, where they kind of take into consideration the amount of compute used to train it and stuff, and so that actually has to do with like the naming of the models. It's like, okay, like I don't know, but they said that this isn't like as big of a like it's more of an incremental update, but it's not like a foundational like or like frontier type of like training model or something. I don't know. It's like the naming behind these are like weird, and the way that they consider like what is what is a frontier model, what isn't, is just seems kind of subjective. TechCrunch asked Anthropic for confirmation, but hadn't received response at publication time. Assuming 3.7 Sonnet indeed cost just a few tens of millions of dollars to train, not factoring in related expenses, it's a sign of how relatively cheap it's become to release state-of-the-art models. Claude 3.5, Sonnet's predecessor, released in fall 2024, similarly cost a few tens of millions of dollars to train, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei revealed in a recent essay. And I mean, Claude Claude in general has just been my favorite probably in the past like few months. Definitely in the past like two to 3 months. Definitely like the most high quality, best for coding. Now that they have thinking too, it's a good addition. The only downside is it's very limited. Like with ChatGPT or whatever, you can just talk forever. You have unlimited. Claude, there's a limited amount just because of compute resources. also because that they have to use AWS. And we just watched, in this interview, they said, with Jensen Huang, they said that Andy Jassy, this AWS or Amazon CEO, said that if he had more compute to sell, he could. And I'm sure that it would go to Claude here, and Amazon is heavily invested in Anthropic too. So that's the downside. But otherwise, it's by far the best. Those totals compare pretty favorably to the training price tags of the 2023's top models. To develop its GPT-4 model, OpenAI spent more than $100 million, according to OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman. Meanwhile, Google spent close to $200 million to train its Gemini Ultra model, a Stanford study estimated. That being said, Amodi expects future AI models to cost billions of dollars. That's crazy. Will we get there, though, is the question. Certainly, training costs don't capture work like safety testing and fundamental research. Moreover, as the AI industry embraces reasoning models that work on problems for extended periods of time, the computing costs running models will likely continue to rise. Yeah, that's true. True. And that's kind of what Jensen was kind of saying too. Makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting that they trained it on like one of the best, but they spent way less than their competitors. Oh, Inception. Oh, this is actually what we were just looking at. Inception. That's these guys. Okay, let's read this real quick. I'm curious about these guys. Then we'll look at the ARK Invest. Inception emerges from stealth with a new type of AI model. Inception, a new Palo Alto-based company by Stanford computer science professor Stefano Ehrman, claims to have developed a novel AI model based on diffusion technology. Inception calls it a diffusion-based large language model, or DLM for short. The generative AI models receiving the most attention right now can be broadly divided into two types: large language models and diffusion models. Large language models are used for text generation, meanwhile diffusion models, which power AI systems like Midjourney and OpenAI Sora, mainly used to create images, videos, and audio. Inception's models offer capabilities of traditional LLMs, including code generation and question answering, but with significantly faster performance and reduced computing costs. Exactly! This is what I'm talking about. Well, breakthroughs that reduce the computing cost needed. Ehrman told TechCrunch that he has been studying how to apply diffusion models to text for a long time in his Stanford lab. His research was based on the idea that traditional LLMs are relatively slow compared to diffusion technology. Yeah, and okay, just building off top of this too, the AI Minecraft that we looked at for from Descartes, they used this. It's diffusion based, and their actual business behind the scenes is efficient AI platform for compute. Descartes, and they use diffusion models though, and so that's interesting though that they were able to be so much more efficient using diffusion for generating frames and stuff. And then now that they use this the Inception Labs using this for LLMs, text-based, it's much more efficient too. Like that could be a cue. I don't know. Although we haven't really seen anything from these guys. But I don't know, I guess it's interesting, the new patterns. Ehrman told TechCrunch that he has been studying how to apply diffusion models for text for a long time in his Stanford lab. Had to throw that in there. His research is based on the idea of traditional LLMs that are relatively slow compared to diffusion technology. With LLMs, you cannot generate the second word until you've generated the first one. You cannot generate the third one until you've generated the first two, Ehrman said. Ehrman was looking for a way to apply a diffusion approach to text because, unlike with LLMs, which work sequentially, diffusion models start with a rough estimate of data that they're generating a picture and then bring the data into focus all at once. I thought it was like a layer, like they do like passes on it, and then each time it like brings it forward more, or like it brings it closer to the end like goal, or yeah, whatever end result. Ehrman hypothesized generating and modifying large blocks of text in parallel was possible with diffusion models. After years of trying, Ehrman and a student of his achieved a major breakthrough, which they call detailed in a research paper published last year. Dang. Recognizing the advancement's potential, Ehrman founded Inception last summer, tapping 2 former students, UCLA professor D.T.A. Grover and Cornell professor Volodymyr Kuleshov, to co-lead the company. While Ehrman declined to discuss Inception's funding, TechCrunch understands that the Mayfield Fund has invested. Inception has already secured several customers, including unnamed Fortune 100 companies, by addressing their critical need for reduced AI latency and increased speed. Interesting. So this is interesting because this is an indicator right here, especially if they already have several customers in the including in the Fortune 100. That tells me that this is a problem and that people are like, these companies are willing to pay. It's interesting because I didn't really think AI was like slow, actually. That's interesting. What we found is that our models can leverage the GPUs much more efficiently, Ehrman said, referring to the computer chips commonly used to run them in production. I think this is a big deal. This is going to change the way people build language models. Inception offers an API as well as on-premise and edge device deployment options, support for model fine-tuning, and suite of the out-of-the-box DLMs. For various use cases, the company claims its DLMs can run up to 10 times faster than traditional LMs while costing 10 times less. That's huge. That's a lot. Our small coding model is as good as OpenAI's GPT-4o Mini. Okay, I mean, that's not that much of a bar, if I'm being honest. That's like 4o Mini? That's like their worst model right now. Well, more than 10 times as fast. Okay, that's fair. And actually, if we're thinking about this more like in the enterprise, 4o Mini is probably what, like these mini models is probably what companies use a lot for like agentic stuff, because there's really not much like thinking that needs to be done. All they need to decide is what tool to call, and then they just take the information, might do some sort of summarization or like formatting, and then just passes it on to the next agent. And I think 4o Mini is very sufficient for those, and considering it's much cheaper. So the fact that if they're already using this for these agentic tasks like this, and then now that they come in and they're like, hey, it's actually 10 times faster and potentially even 10 times less, like that is actually pretty big. Company spokesperson told TechCrunch, our mini model outperforms small open source models like Meta's Llama 3.1b and achieves more than 1,000 tokens per second. Tokens is industry parlance for bits of raw data. 1,000 tokens per second is an impressive speed indeed, assuming Inception's claims hold up. Interesting. I'm gonna follow I want to follow these guys because I'm curious now about like just alternative strategies. I like that they came in with like a completely different approach. Diffusion. Okay. Let's take a look at some of these. I want to look at energy, rockets, and stablecoins, because I'm actually kind of interested in stablecoins because they actually provide much more utility than like actual like non-stable coins like Bitcoin. I don't know. They're more interesting right now to me. Autonomous logistics. This one is cool. I mean, all of these are interesting, but we could take a look in future streams. But let's actually look at convergence. Convergence among. Also, wait, let me do some background. ARK Invest. Okay, just some background. ARK Invest, yeah, is the Kathy Wood. She was like in the news. ARK was kind of like super popular like around COVID time. And it was started by Kathy Wood, and she was kind of like just on, I don't know, if like, I guess if you follow financial news, like she was kind of everywhere. She's like on CNBC, and she was riding high because of like crypto and like all this other like, you know, emerging, like they focus on emerging technologies mainly. And it was just a good time for emerging technologies. And then like I don't know, like COVID kind of like happened, and like the stock or the economy tanked, and ARK just got slammed. And I owned a bunch of their, I like their ETFs, but I've since divested and just gone more broadly, and I just invest in individual companies that I support that emerging technologies like NVIDIA, Rocket Labs. And I just take the broad market. But I think that there is a place for these guys. I don't know. I might actually look into it again. They had the space one. Yeah, this one, because they said that there's a potentially that they had SpaceX stock in here. And I was like, and like, you know, SpaceX is a private company. So I was like, bro, how the fuck did they get that? Oh wait, how did I get here? ARK X. Oh shit. Yeah, bro, look at this. This is huge. This is like a fucking valley of the Grand Canyon. It made a comeback, but it's kind of going down. I guarantee you they own a lot of Rocket Lab. I want to see what they are, their top holdings. ARK, yeah, exactly. Though that's what I'm saying. It's like they were doing good for a while. I don't know. Maybe they still are like over time. This is just one of them, but yeah, it's like I don't know. They're a little too risky. Oh, you still have ARK stuff? Nice. Yeah, bro, Rocket Lab is their second biggest holding. That's literally why it's been tanking. Small amount, just out of curiosity, mostly. Yeah, same. But I don't know. It's emerging technology. But you know, over the long term, I think you know they're like rhetoric is like if you hate us, then you're betting against innovation. It's like okay, relax. But I think it's definitely long term. Like emerging technologies, it takes a long time for them to mature and be adopted. So, but yeah, Rocket Lab is their third biggest holding, and their stock is tanked. That's dragged this stock down, I bet. Because I bet you that this the portfolio, this was actually much higher weight, but because it's been going down, the stock's been going down, it's actually brought the weight down too. Paradigm. But like, see, they have like Palantir in here, and like Palantir's not a space company. Okay. All right, let's look at these. Let's look at this. Yeah, risk of investing in innovation. Companies that ARK believes are capitalizing on disruptive innovation and developing technologies to displace older technologies or create new markets may not, in fact, do so. Rapid pace of change, exposure to a cross-sector market cap, uncertainty and unknowns. Aim for cross-sector understanding of technology and combine top-down and bottom-up research. Don't know what that means. Aim to understand the regulatory market sector and company risks. Okay. Better landscape. Yeah. And I also think with emerging technologies too, there's a lot of uncertain, like the regulatory landscape, so to speak. Politics is very uncertain because like with AI, like I bet you there's going to be some sort of legislation eventually that will make it like more difficult to do something with it, and like that will probably like slow it down a little. But like what it is, we don't know, because there could be some incident that happens, you know, where like I don't know, some self replicating AI like takes over some network, and then it's like, okay, now we need some law to figure it out, you know, to like prevent that, and that could slow us down, I guess. What is this? Legendary. Okay, in compounding, the real action takes place on the second half of the chessboard. Legendarily requesting his reward for inventing chess, the 6th century advisor to the Indian ruler. I don't require much of your highness, just a grain of wheat on the first square of the board, doubling consecutively on each square thereafter. Years computers cross the same compounding threshold. What an analogy. This is crazy. Wheat grains, 2 teaspoons, 9 loaves of bread, 4 years sustenance, 7 pounds of gold, 1 ton, 20% of India GDP, 6,880, 50 times global GDP, 9 times global GDP in 2024. Crazy. By lore, when he agreed to the reward, the Indian ruler thought it quite reasonable. By the 6th row of the chessboard, however, he had exhausted India's treasury, having paid just 0.001% of the bill. Today, computational advances has completed the equivalent of the 6th row on the chessboard, entering the AI cycle in 2018. Computers had crossed 40% performance doublings and in 2023 surpassed 48 doublings. By the end of this decade, thanks to the acceleration in AI, computation could reach the end of the chessboard. Thing where it doubles every time. That's crazy. And like, you know, the years in between shortened too. AI is accelerating the performance doubling rate, closing in on the end of the chessboard. Enabled primarily by architectural improvements in AI systems, performance per dollar of AI compute is expected to improve 1,000 times by 2030. At the time, we expect the compute performance will have doubled 64 times since the advent of the integrated circuit. This is actually interesting because this does show 3 very arguably very separate industries. Full self-driving is arguably just software, but if you look at it like robo-taxis, that AI does benefit. Number of hypotheses tested per full-time employee researcher. That's crazy. Miles per intervention. The Tesla full self-driving is the worst one though, because their full self-driving is actually like the worst. Best in class software engineering. Yeah, software engineering is getting cracked for AI coding is insane right now. Convergence is accelerating the technology revolution. ARK measures the degree to which technologies serve as catalysts between and among innovation platforms. The convergence among them are increasing, with network density up 30% in the past year. AI is proving more critical to unlocking the value of precision therapies and multi-omic technologies. Multi-omic? I think that's like genomic. Smart contract ecosystems are serving as the test beds in which autonomous AI agents can be remunerated for sharpening their capabilities. Next-gen cloud energy demand is pulling forward timelines for distributed energy generation. This is it. This is an interesting like analysis though, but like kind of interconnecting everything and how certain things are like pushing other, other emerging technologies are advancing or pushing other emerging technologies. Interesting. Acceleration in neural networks is accelerating every other disruptive technology. And it's interesting because neural networks and like has been around for a while. Arguably AI being the like ultimate form of it, I guess, like penultimate form of it in a way. Right, at least for now, until we discover something new. Wait, so why do we read this? Digital wallets. Oh, I see. This is the technology. And so neural network, it's like everything. It's touched everything here. Reusable rockets. Programmable biology. Neural networks. Autonomous mobility. Distributed energy generation. I lost. 3D printing. Interesting. This is cool, actually. This is a good analysis. Advances in AI, energy storage, and public blockchains are critical to the pace of technological advance. Among disruptive technologies, neural networks are the most important catalyst. I'm trying to like think. I'm trying to just like imagine my head. How the correlation between neural networks and some of this other stuff. I think though, if you just think neural networks as like machine learning and like predictive, anything to like for like predictive analytics, like training a computer to think, to be, to like have better logic and stuff, like I don't like that. It makes sense because like that's literally in like the foundation of all of this stuff. It's just an algorithm. According to our research, advances in neural networks will increase the value of 6 of the other 14 technologies by at least an order of magnitude, creating massive market expansion for next-gen cloud intelligent devices, autonomous mobility, humanoid robots, precision medicine, and multi-omic technology. The AI-led revolution in technology is likely to lead to dramatic productivity gains and step functions increase in economic growth. I think, yeah, they're just saying neural networks is like AI. Technology inflection should lead to GDP inflection. Structural change in the underlying rate of macroeconomic growth are the historical rule, not the exception. After 100,000 years of economic stagnation leading to year one innovations, notably writing, allowed empires to stitch together continents, which quadrupled real growth through 1000 AD. Compound annual growth. Agricultural innovations enabled denser populations and labor specializations, leading to a doubling of growth through 1500 to 0.3%. Huh. That's just here. During the 400 years through 1900, annual GDP growth gained again to 0.6 as the Enlightenment and Industrial Revolution swept the globe. We got here the Second Industrial Revolution, marked by electrification, the automobile, and telephony, ushered in the modern age and quintupled growth to 3% on average over the last 125 years. It's here. It's crazy. Technological breakthroughs in AI, autonomous mobility, and humanoid robots are likely to turbocharge productivity again, causing another step function in growth over the next 5 to 10 years. That's crazy. And then just going to be off from there, I imagine. Disruptive innovation could grow to dominate markets. Innovation should drive a momentous business cycle. Non-disruptive Magnificent Six. What is Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet? They didn't include. I think the Mag 7 includes Netflix, which realistically, yeah, they're not. They Netflix shouldn't be grouped with like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon. Like, sorry, Netflix. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is like a big forecast. Disruptive innovation could command more than 2/3 of the global equity market, compounding at 38% rate through 2030. I do think if you think about if we think about like computers and the internet as like the previous like generation of emerging technologies, those and we compare them to like let's just like AI and like some of the other emerging technologies that they showed up here, like I don't know about the crypto, but like space stuff, reusable rockets, like robotics, energy, autonomous logistics, robotaxis, like these could potentially be the next of, you know, the previous generation. So and we're all honestly already seeing the big tech companies, these Mag 6, invest in these companies, and they're gonna like kind of compound that. So, you know, if AI and those other emerging technologies are the next technology, the companies who are in now, some of them will become the Microsoft, Apple's, Amazon's, Alphabet's, if the, you know, Mag 6 doesn't just like take it over, which they're kind of seems like they're forecasting that it doesn't really, you know, the other disruptive innovations take over and push out the Microsofts and NVIDIA's or Microsofts and whoever. I think NVIDIA will last because they're kind of different, but yeah, and I don't know. I guess like also thinking about it, like not every, you know, the largest companies in, you know, the 80s and 90s, you know, are not those now, and it's going to continue down like that. I could see that happening as these other emerging technologies like OpenAI, you know, are arguably now growing, becoming on, you know, some sort of like the scale wise, at least they're becoming, you know, these big tech companies now. And I think it's, you know, over time it's going to be kind of maybe a rotation. I guess just thinking about like history, like, you know, like think about like oil, trains, cars, like at the times when all those came out, it's like those were the biggest companies because they were the emerging technologies. The Microsofts, Apple, NVIDIA, or Amazon's, Alphabets are those companies now, but will they be those in the future? Even 10 years? I think this is what I'm kind of like taking this to mean, is that like, yeah, like other companies are going to come in and disrupt, but I mean the Mag 6 will still hold on. I don't know, because this is like such a tangent now, but comparing, I do think it is different now because, and it's so hard not to think about the like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet as like not oligarchies, but like a country, like their infrastructure. Like, I guess I'm trying to think about how Microsoft would fail, but like they are so spread out. They're in so many different businesses, and so many things like are reliant and dependent on them. They have like, they're literally building like power plants. They're, you know, like they have all kinds of like infrastructure, and like they support so many people. It's just crazy to think of them like going away. And like, I feel like though, I feel like there's some sort of, it's different now compared to like Standard Oil or whoever like back then, because they're just like so much more distributed, globalized. That's the word I'm looking for. Globalization, bro. I feel like that's why though it's hard. It's gonna be harder for them to fail. And I feel like that's, the internet is a big like catalyst for like not letting letting it fail, because the internet kind of decentralized things. It connected things from everywhere. If you think back then, that like trains were kind of the big catalyst for like oil and such. The internet is the modern day train, car, because of it allows information to move. Information and arguably even resources. I don't know. That was a stretch of a thought, but yeah. Non-innovation businesses could begin to shrink as technological deflation associated with innovation threatens margins and competitiveness, even amid rapid macroeconomic growth. Dang. Okay, let's just take a look at I kind of want to look at stablecoins, honestly. I'm curious about stablecoins. We'll start with them. I'm obviously curious about AI agents, but we've had enough AI stuff in the stream today. Stablecoins reshaping the digital asset space. One of the fastest growing segments in digital assets, stablecoins overtook MasterCard and Visa in transaction value in 2024. Despite a 2-year bear market and a 70% plus decline in market capitalization, stablecoin growth has remained uninterrupted in 2024. The annualized transaction value of stablecoins hit 15.6 trillion. 15.6 trillion? That's a lot. Roughly 119 and 200% that of Visa and MasterCard, respectively. I think though, it just seems like though stablecoin is definitely used for just moving money across borders. And so I could see that, like, whereas like Visa and MasterCard is like only a purchase, generally speaking. Number of transactions hit 110 million monthly, roughly 0.41 and 0.72 of those processed by Visa and MasterCard, respectively. In other words, the stablecoin value per transaction is much higher than that for Visa and MasterCard. I don't understand how stablecoins make money, though. Dang, it like skyrocketed in 2024. Solana's a stablecoin? I didn't even know that. Solana, Tron, Ethereum. Oh, these are just the blockchain stuff. I should have read the actual chart. What about base? BNB chain? Is this Binance? Polygon, okay. Athena Labs tokenized a popular basis trade and amassed $6 billion in 12 months. Okay. Innovation in the stablecoin space is thriving, with Athena Labs as one of the fastest growing projects. Despite criticism of its novel design, the project has captured a significant share of the non-fiat backed stablecoin market and has become a key competitor in this $200 billion space. Athena Labs reached $6 billion in total value locked during its first 12 months. That's crazy. The yield could turn negative in a bear market. Okay, $100 USDE are minted to the user. This is like a coin, I think. Users provide $100 USD worth of ETH. Athena swaps the collateral for $100 worth of yield-bearing ETH, such as ST ETH, which is deposited as a custodian. In exchange, opens a short position with $100 worth $100 with a deposit, $100 with a deposit at the custodian as collateral. Delta neutral positions in which the short position offsets the spot collateral. Fuck, I don't know. That's way over my head. I thought they'd give them this USDE. They would then buy Ethereum, stake the Ethereum, take the interest on that, give a portion of it to the people who bought the stablecoin as their yield. But then I got lost here. Monthly active stablecoin addresses. USDT DST Tether. Okay, I was wondering where Tether would be. That's like one of the only ones I know besides Coinbase's. Continue to dominate the stablecoin landscape, followed by USDC Circle. Together, they account for 90% of the total supply. Stablecoins are multi-chain and have penetrated almost every major layer 1 blockchain. Dang. Digital assets are undergoing stable coinization and dollarization, while China and Japan have sold record volumes of U.S. treasuries. Saudi Arabia has ended its 45-year petrodollar agreement, and BRICS. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. BRICS nations have reduced their reliance on U.S. dollar payments by circumventing the SWIFT network. SWIFT is like the banking network that like kind of we use it against Russia to like stop them from like moving money and shit, or like getting access to money or something. I remember it was like in the news. It's like a global banking network, some shit. Historically, Bitcoin and Ether were the bridges into the digital asset ecosystem. During the past 2 years, however, stablecoins have dethroned them and now account for 35 to 50% of ARK transaction volumes. Interesting. Retail investors are flocking to layer 2s for less expensive and more convenient stablecoin transactions, increasing the market share of blockchains like Arbitrum Base. Meanwhile, whales, an individual user or entity that holds a large amount of specific currency, usually worth $5 to $10 million, depending on the asset. We called whales at we had a name for whales too at like my old job. When I worked at the dog and cat hotel, where we just called them customers who just spend a lot of money. They were just like they gave us like a significant portion of like our revenue, essentially. We had this like one in the Bay Area, and like they would bring their dogs to, they had like 2 dogs, and they bring them to the dog and cat hotel like once a month for like a week. They just like travel around a bunch, and they would buy literally like every single upgrade, and they would spend like $300,000 a year with us or something insane. Like, bro, it was more like 200,000, I think. Transactions below $100 dominate activity on Base and Optimism, while those above dominate Ethereum. That's interesting. Yeah, it's like, bro, what the fuck did they do? Spend that much money. Okay, I honestly understand stablecoins way less than I thought. Just pay someone to stay with you, bro. Literally, I don't know. I guess rich people, they don't even care about money. It's convenience. Top foreign holders of U.S. Treasury securities: Japan and China. Japan, that's crazy. They have $1 trillion. They have over $1 trillion in U.S. securities. Cayman Islands? What the fuck? That's so random. In Luxembourg too is honestly random. In a world trending towards deglobalization, we just talked about that, and de-dollarization, stablecoins could drive steady demand for U.S. Treasury securities. Combined Tether and Circle already ranked as the 20th largest holder of U.S. Treasuries as of December 2024. I swear Tether's like a scam though. Like I swear they don't actually have any money backing, and they're just like literally printing money without having any collateral. That was a huge thing. I guess though, arguably ARK is not incentivized to really disclose that or say that here, because they're trying to paint it in a better picture. With fewer than 200 employees, Tether reported $5.2 billion in profits during the first half of 2024, including USDT. The rest of its products and services and unrealized gains on digital assets, clearly one of the most capital efficient businesses in history. Where are they making money from though? All right, let's go to Grok. We'll have this run in the background. Okay, let's go. How do stablecoins make money? Seems like they are a bank, but they don't have to follow the same rules as a bank. How does that work? All right, well, let's run. It's gonna take a few minutes. Where were we? Here. Tether employs fewer than 200 people compared to 300,000. JP Morgan has 300,000 employees? They have 300,000 employees. What the fuck? $300,000. Holy shit. I didn't realize they had that many employees. That's crazy, actually. That's crazy. Even Berkshire Hathaway, they said, like, which is Warren Buffett's company. I thought... employees does... Bro, that's insane. They almost have 400,000 employees. I thought Berkshire Hathaway was just like I didn't realize they had 400,000 employees. What? What do they even do? Like, they just all they do is just buy, like, Warren Buffett owns like 6 stocks. Like, I'm exaggerating, but I guess, like, what is there to do? I know they own a bunch of companies, but, like, are they counting all of their subsidiaries? I want 100% ownership only. I guess they must be counting. They have to be counting all these subsidiaries. They own the most random companies too. They own like Dairy Queen, Geico. Yeah, Geico, 100%. Fruit of the Loom, what the heck? They own Fruit of the Loom? That's like so random. Duracell? They own 100% of Duracell? Largest builder of manufactured houses? They own Business Wire? What the fuck? I didn't realize they owned all these random ass companies. I knew they owned like Geico and shit, but I didn't know like Duracell. Like, what? That's crazy. They own NetJets. Wow. Pampered Chef. I remember this. Bro, I know this. I know this because I've seen their trucks. Oh no, yeah. It's the gas station. What the fuck? They own Pilot. What the hell? Russell Brands, bro. What? They own. Yo, they own so much. See's Candy. I know that one. The Warren Buffett's talking about that. Okay, I'm just like curious now. They own like, yeah, Dairy Queen. Oh, they own 99% of Dairy Queen. Yeah. They have to be counting on it. Anyways. Okay, here's this. Grok's done. It only thought for 28 seconds. Stablecoins themselves do not make money. Their users earn revenue. Their issuers earn revenue through interest on reserves and transaction fees. It seems like this likely that stablecoin issuers operate different from banks with fewer regulatory requirements, allowing unique profit-making methods. Research suggests stablecoins can be used to by individuals to earn money through lending or yield farming. Stablecoins are digital. Okay. Stablecoin issuers like Tether or Circle hold reserves, often in US dollars, to back the coins. They can earn interest by investing these reserves in interest-bearing securities, which is a major source of revenue. Additionally, they might charge fees for transactions such as buying or selling coin in exchanges. Holding it makes no sense, though. So, okay, wait, I'm just thinking. So, they issue a token. Okay, see, I feel like the cheat is they could just print money. Stablecoins could just print as many stablecoins as they want. Like, I guess how does it keep its value if that's the case? I guess that's the US dollar. How's it any different? So if let's say someone buys $100 of Tether, they then take that into cash probably and then just buy securities, buy like bonds, which is like literally just like what most banks do with savings accounts. And then that would make sense here because they own a shit ton of US securities, or like treasuries, sorry. Securities, think stocks. And that just must be how they make their money. Just must be like literally like it's kind of like a boring way to make money, but it works. Just how like savings accounts work. They just buy the margin. So like they offer 4%. Like right now, you know, like treasury interest rates are 4.6, 4.33. Whoa. Oh, they actually went up. Around like 4.6. And then, you know, like my interest rate on my savings account right now is 4%. So they're making 0.26% on every dollar like in my savings account right now because they're likely just buying bonds. Or if they're smart, they actually bought much more when the interest rate was higher. And then now that it's going down, they're just reaping the benefits, these huge margins. It just seems like what stablecoins do, which is like kind of boring actually. I don't know about risk-free though. There's some inherent risk. But like, look, most of them don't even have yield-bearing. That's how they make money because most of them don't actually even give an interest rate. You can just buy it, and then they just take your money and then just invest it in like a stable thing, like a bond, and then just make interest from that. And you know, they don't have to pay you anything. You probably have to pay them because they probably charge fees for the like whatever blockchain they're using. So stablecoins would be the 13th largest currency in circulation behind Spain. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess this just really showed me how much I actually don't understand the crypto market, even stable coins. Learning. I definitely learned something, but I'm still interested in stable coins. I just don't see how they're not a bank, I guess, and how they shouldn't be treated like one. And I know that, I mean, they're definitely not going to in the next 4 years because Gary Gensler, I guess, or no, oh no, Gary Gensler was a good guy, or not necessarily a good guy. He's the Biden one. Was it Jamie Dimon? No, that's the I swear he's the CEO of JP Morgan. Yeah, he is. Who's our current who's the SEC? Sort of oh, is it still him? I see, okay. I thought it was someone else. Maybe it's the Treasury Department. Scott Bessent. Yeah, this is who I was thinking of. Like, bro, look at this guy, bro. Wow, Alexander Hamilton was the first. Janet Yellen. This guy's Steve Mnuchin. This was Trump's last term. I remember this guy. There's always an acting. This dude looks like this dude almost looks like Clinton. Bro. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, okay. All right. I have one last thing to share, and then that'll do it for today. Okay, let's go to Google. And let's ask, what is DRM? And it spits out this bullshit answer. Because, well, okay, they actually changed it. Oh, okay, actually, let me take a look. I took a screenshot of it previously because it was wrong. Nope, they actually didn't. Wait, did they? DRM. Yeah, I guess, like, this is wrong. This is just not right. It helps protect content from online piracy and illegal content. DRM also helps protect business-critical data from unauthorized access. Yeah, that might be right, but this is a weird smell. Piracy, it does not stop this. It actually does nothing for this. And this article by Fortinet, which Fortinet's like big tech company, is also just wrong. Benefits. Like, it's just like such a corporate pilled thing. It's so hard to even think of any legitimate use for it. Like, many people pay little attention to the copyright deals of the content they own. DRM helps organizations clearly communicate what customers can and cannot do with their digital media, which in turn educates users about how copyright and intellectual property works. No, bro, what the fuck? How? Educates you how? It educates you by when you want to do something with something, when you want to do something with something that you own and you bought and you can't do it, it just makes them frustrated. That's what it does. It punishes paying customers over people who actually pirate things. It's actually better to pirate things when there's DRM, because you don't actually deal with the bullshit of whatever other, like, you know, internet connected shit that they make you do, or the hoops that they make you jump through to prove that you do actually own the thing. It's like, it's actually just better to pirate it, because you don't actually have to jump through all these hoops. It's more convenient. It's easier. And that's what it actually comes down to, is that they make it so hard to actually use the thing you bought that it just becomes easier to just pirate it. I'm not saying go pirate stuff, but, like, you know, they make it kind of hard not to sometimes. It's like, bro, like, if I want to give you money for something and you make it so hard for me to use the thing after I give you money, why would I just not try and get it for free? I don't know. Protecting income. See, this is what it's about, actually. Creating, filming, and educating documentary, movies, and other videos cost creators money in the hopes of selling content for profit. If that content gets leaked or shared without their consent, they can lose money. DRM enables content creators to ensure by only paying users that can access their videos. Like, no, this just, like... Oh, it smells so good now, actually. Someone's cooking something good. Ensuring appropriate content access. File privacy. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm taking matters in my own hands, and I own the domain fuckdrm.com, and so I am making it an educational resource for people to learn what DRM does, and that it's actually just really not that good, and to share alternatives for people to find non-DRM things you could buy. So if you buy something, you actually own it, and you can do whatever you want with it. In big tech corporations, most people don't fucking share the video or give it away for free. It's like going to a friend's house and watching a movie together is different than, you know, someone posting it online for everyone to see. You're punishing, you know, you're punishing everyone for the sins of a few, okay? Just eat the money you spend. The money you spend maintaining and creating DRM software is way more than if you were to just not use DRM software and just have a few people, you know, like the few people who are going to pirate it anyways, just, you know, post it online to pirate it. Like that's the, you know, what it really comes down to, I feel like. You know, if you buy something, you don't actually own it. You know, it's like, okay, think about a book. It's like a physical book. It's like, I could take that book and I could go give it to someone for free. You know? Like you can't do that with digital stuff, even though it's the same logic. I don't know. I hate DRM. And DRM goes much more than just software. It's the reason why you can't repair your own electronics and iPhone. You know, they don't want you to do it, or they want you to buy their parts, which they make money off of, and then they upcharge, you know, make it much more expensive. They make it harder on purpose so you can't modify it. You know, it's like it's called defective by design, which is defective by design. And Apple was the biggest one of them all, you know, because they, you know, courts were able to prove that they were artificially slowing down iPhones so that you would want to upgrade to your new one, you know, to the new iPhone. And that's why, like, all these electronics and all beyond just like simple iPhones, you know, like, other electronics are not meant to last forever because they want you to buy another one. It's like, if we actually made things to last in, like, that are quality, like, you know, people would have stuff now, but, like, they just, you know, they won't spend any money though. And so that, you know, from a corporation perspective, there's no reason why they would want to make something that's actually a good product that will last forever, because they, you know, the customers won't come back because the product's actually good and won't, you know, last forever. Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating. But this is by the Free Software Foundation, who they are the backing to a lot of, like, open source software that you might not directly use, but that people depend upon. Yeah, they might actually, do they run the Python? But they have all these campaigns here that kind of just, you know, they're just a nonprofit. Yeah, the GNU project. GNU. Yeah, here we go. Current projects. I think it's mainly this the GNU project, which is the underpinning of other things like the operating system is kind of a meme though. But yeah, this is a good resource here, Defective by Design. They've been pushing this for a long time. So, all right, that's all I got planned for today's stream. I might do, with tomorrow's Friday, potential gaming stream tomorrow. If not, we'll see everyone Monday, around 9:30 or 9-ish. Probably like, you know, between 9:30. Yeah, we'll do news Monday, probably gaming Tuesday. Maybe news Wednesday, gaming Thursday, like every other. I kind of like something like that. But definitely news Monday. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate everyone showing up. Maybe stream tomorrow, Friday, gaming stream. Otherwise, Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Bye.